So, we start with the pitch black that is the darkness that surrounds Jeb. You hear the occasional flap of a dragon's wing, and all you can see around you, the only light, comes from a pulsing red orb in the distance. You've tried running to the orb before, but it seems like you never get closer. When all of a sudden, the ground beneath you begins to quake and shake and move. Go ahead, roll me a dex save. 20. You've gotten used to this over your time spent inside this dark place. The dragon has taken flight and has begun combat with another dragon it was hunting. You hear the roars, the growls, the moans, the groans, and the breathing of fire. Until eventually you hear the crashing and the shattering of trees as the battle is done. Roll me a perception check.
13.
Okay. So you're able to determine your dragon won. You hear his voice.
Okay.
You hear his and this almost like luminescent, kind of transparent, like rainbowy colors start flowing in around you. And way off in the distance, you see this as they start to gather inside of the orb and form to the orb, as it looks like the orb is taking in the energy. Is there anything Jeb wants to do?
I want to try and touch it again.
Okay, how are you going about this?
I'm going to just, stretch out a little bit and just, shuffle over bit by bit and try and just tap it at the very end. Go slowly as soon as I can.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
I'm really good at these. 11.
It seems like the orb may not even work that way. You might not be able to sneak around an orb. Doesn't really make much sense. As you think you're getting, you're sidestep in, you go to reach your hand out and you look over and you're still, a football field's length away.
Go
ahead.
I'll take a big sigh, and I will say to it, "So, who was that then that just fucking died?"
An uncooperative.
How many does that make? 2?
3.
Okay, that's not bad, right? It's not too bad. I thought you said the dragons would be our friends, though.
I've been over this. Not all dragons.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, whatever.
I
don't want to, upset you.
You, as you're looking at the orb again, you notice that it's almost like an eye opening, and you see the faint, hold on a second. There we go. You see, the sliver of is the iris? No, it's the pupil of a pupil open up in the orb. And that's where we're going to switch over. So, hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to Season 2 of The Lost Mine of Phandelver, a.k.a. Lost Song of Phandelver. It's been like a year. You guys can unmute yourselves now.
Yay.
I'm so excited.
Just can't hide it.
So how have you all been in our year?
I've been.
I've learned a lot and have anticipated this return for quite some time. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now.
I know a lot of you were binging season 1 to catch up and see if you forgot anything, or it's just great. Sorry, I'm just
Definitely
fixing
check
the
that
cameras
out
a
if you're
little
on
bit.
Patreon. If you are a patron, go ahead and start listening to that if you haven't already on the audio only versions. It's very enjoyable. I listen to them while I'm at work, and surprisingly, I loved every minute of it. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of serious moments in season 1. Go and check it out if you haven't already, especially if you want to get caught up with what's going on now in season 2.
Look at our
He said
hype
surprisingly, I enjoyed every minute of it.
plug. Surprisingly.
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
What a douche.
Surprisingly, I enjoyed the show that I
What a
enjoyed
douche.
previously.
Tommy.
I meant to say that whatever. I'm an idiot. Just go listen to it. It's really good. You'll enjoy it. It's a good laugh. It's sad moments. There's happy moments, and a little bit of the in between.
All right.
Links are in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. So we're gonna introduce our players, as it's been some time. Today with us, as you saw, as Jeb, Equaisnotfunny. Of course, he's gonna have a new character, which I forgot to remove from the layout, so you guys know all about him already.
Yep, all about him.
We've got TommieTaco, the one and only Daddy Zorag, making his grand return. Tommy, what has Mr. Zorag been up to this past 6 months?
After the events of the Phandelver failure, that I like to call it, Zorag headed up closer to the spine of the world. He's been living out there as a hermit, come into contact with a few bandits here and there, fought a few people off, really contemplating his own existence and why he continues to fail, and now he is ready to come back from his seclusion.
Awesome. And where can people find you, Tommy?
You can find me here on Swindler's Den with Rhyme of the Frost Maiden that gets played every Wednesday. Baka will tell you more about that. And on Sundays when we play this game, but you can also find me at twitch.tv/TommieTaco. My stream has since become more of an art stream, so if you want to come in, hang out, listen to some good beats while watching some art, definitely check me out there. I don't have a set schedule yet, but that is coming.
So good at arting, you guys.
Let's
Oh,
look at this
good.
art guy.
Look
him
at that
showing this
guy.
up.
Oh, get
Oh, good.
food.
All right. Next up, we got the one and only Daughter of the Mountains, BakaZombie, and her Valeada, or his Valeada.
Yatta.
Go ahead, Baka. What has Valeada been up to since the events of the Lost Mine of Phandelver 6 months prior?
Mostly just regathering herself. She would have gone back and done a little bit of a ceremony at the Lost Mine on top of the rubble for those lost there. She would have helped Tharden, the one surviving dwarf, get back to health and returned wherever he needed to go, as well as been working on a few projects herself and kind of moping around Udengald, her hometown.
So she's like where Rumshoe was prior to Dwight.
Kind of, yeah. She is Rumshoe.
She is Rumshoe. You heard it here first.
It's meant to be,
Good
you
old
guys.
Wow.
Let the fandom go wild.
Queen Valeandra.
Up next, last but not least, we have Zelda Nerd 1988, aka Nyssa, returning, reprising her role as the Aelin half-elf rogue. So,
Hello, everybody.
same to you. What has Aelin been up to?
Well, after hanging out with Jeb for a little bit and splitting off so he can go do his own adventure, Aelin headed back over to the city, obviously after chatting with her uncle at the apple orchard, and started digging into some more about what happened with Jeb and hopefully getting some more information from her fellow Harpers about what to do and how to help her new/late friend.
Okay, and to correct that, she said Jeb, but she meant Rumshoe.
Yes, Rumshoe. Hanging out with Rumshoe before he
same
went
person.
off on his own. Whoa.
Everybody's
Yeah,
around.
they're same height.
Everybody's Rumshoe. Okay, with that, speaking of said Harpers, we are going to start our show. You guys ready?
Good. Good lead in. Yes, let's go. Let's go.
So,
Bring it.
Let's do this.
oh man, I kind of want to roll to see who goes first. Zorag and Valeada, roll me a d20 each.
Oh, okay.
First
Let
roll.
me click this up real quick.
I got the first roll, actually. It was a 20.
My first
Here
roll.
we go. What did I
17.
get? I only got a 10.
Okay, so we're gonna with Valeada first.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm nervous beyond belief. So, Valeada, you hold on. Come to consciousness. And you open your eyes, and it's still dark, but you're awake now. You feel you have this sack over your head. You can feel the kind of coarse cloth pressed against it. As you begin to wake up and move, you start to hear some movement from a creak of a chair, some steps coming up closer to you, and saying, "So, you are awake."
Yes. You take this bag off my head and show yourself.
I will. But let me tell you, we can either do this the hard way or the easy way. So I suggest you let it happen. And as she says that, I want you to roll me a charisma saving throw.
You're paladin, you're so good at these.
Unless you're accepting this.
Oh, she's not accepting this. I just want to make sure I get my aura correct.
Yeah.
Whenever you are friendly. Yep, so I get a +1 to this. Charisma saving.
Yes.
Let me make sure that has the +1 in it. It doesn't. So it should be a 21.
Oh, a 21. Okay. So if you are resisting this, you do pass. You feel this energy kind of start to fill the bag and like enter into your ears and your nose and your mouth as it tries to loosen your tongue and your mind. But you are able to still yourself and your thoughts, and it doesn't take hold. The woman in the room with you, well, I guess you don't know she's a woman necessarily at the moment, but she walks over and she says, "Fine, we will do this the hard way then." And she takes the mask off, or the cloth off your head, throws it to the ground, and now you see that you're in this circular stone room. And there's candles all around you, a magic sigil on the floor. Off in one corner, you see a table with knives and a whip, a scroll. You also see... Roll me a perception check.
A 0.
You also see nothing else. Your eyes are still adjusting from the light. And it's hard to make out too much. But before you stands a lilac-colored tiefling woman. She's got this cloth wrapped around her eyes and a hood over, but her horns still there's cutouts in the hood for her horns to come out. And she goes over to get something off the table. Aelin, it is at this point that if you would like to, and you've been standing outside the door, kind of looking through the wooden bars in the door, or the steel rods in the wooden door. So if you would like to interject, you can. As this tiefling woman goes to get the knife and starts walking over to Valeada.
She will definitely interject. She'll start by knocking on the door.
What is it? Can't you see I'm about to have some fun?
Yeah, your definition of fun's a little different from mine, and plus, I know her. I need to talk with her.
Give me a persuasion check.
Alrighty. Persuasion. 8.
You can come
Toy
in.
rule?
And no toy rules. You can come in and you can talk to her as I work. She comes over to you. She opens the door, lets you in.
Really, is this necessary?
Well, if your
Like
friend...
I said, I know her.
I know you know her. That is why we went and got her. You told us all about your time together.
And she starts to walk over to Valeada.
If you do not want me to do this, then I suggest you convince her to talk.
Aelin's gonna heave a sigh, look skyward, asking for some kind of inner inspiration, and she's gonna approach the circle, not quite entering it, and she's going to wave, "Hi, Valeada."
So you're
This
behind
was
this?
No, this was not my idea. It was all hers.
Look,
Just staring daggers.
as I said, easy way, hard way. This is your last chance. So, who do you work for?
I work for myself.
Your own interests.
I work in name of the spirits to protect those who need it.
And what relationship do you have with the Cult of the Dragon?
Come across them once. That's it.
You came across them once, yet you went and released an ancient dragon onto our world.
Not of my own knowing.
Roll me a perception or a persuasion.
Persuasion. 11.
I'm also gonna roll her an insight.
Perhaps you are telling the truth. Aelin here vouches for you.
And that should be enough.
At this point, we'll switch over to Zorag, who, let's see real quick. Who is also in a room, tied to a chair. Not the same room. Sorry, this is being really difficult for me today. What layer is Valeada on? Oh, oops, that's why. Okay, so we switch scenes over to Zorag, who too is asleep in a room. Until he begins to come to, and again, bag over his head. You feel the metal shackles around your wrists. How does Zorag respond?
I'm gonna like yank a little bit as I wake up. Like I feel the metal. I'm just trying to like yank to break away from these things, whatever's holding me down. So I would like Zorag would try to break out of whatever's holding him there.
Okay, roll me an athletics. Athletics. We'll go with that.
Athletics.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, let the Zorag rolls come back. 22.
So strong.
You begin to like shake and like pull upward, trying to get like, you almost use your elbows as leverage too, and you're starting to hear like the screws come in loose. You hear this big heavy footsteps begin to walk over to you and go, I wouldn't do that. Stop it. Come on.
What the fuck?
Down. And he goes and he like puts his arms on your arms and is like trying to keep you down. Are you still fighting?
Yeah, Zorag has no idea what the hell's going on. He does not like being held into place. So yeah, he would still fight that.
Okay. Roll me another athletics.
This is where the nat ones come in, baby.
Don't even say it.
Let's
Don't
do
put
it.
that into existence.
The 17.
Okay, hold on. I gotta do math now. You guys tied. I don't know what that means.
Oh. Roll off.
Yeah, roll one more time. That's what we'll do.
Okay. Another athletics?
Yeah.
Damn.
You got
15.
one better than you. You rolled
Damn.
one less than last time. So he starts pushing you down. He's really strong. You're noticing.
Let me go!
I should sit still. Let me.
Who are you?
Hold on. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. I suggest the easy way.
You wanna try it the hard way? Let me loose and I'll fucking slit your throat!
At this point, he nods backward to a figure behind him.
Can I see what's going on, or do I have something?
You still
over
have
my
a
vision?
rag over your head. Still have a
Okay.
thing over your face. Equa,
Yes.
we see your character leaned up against the wall. What's he look like at this time?
My character is a male, pointy ears, not quite so long as regular elf, so to the average observer you would guess half elf, of slightly tall proportions, but a little lithe, dressed in these kind of, it's almost like an overcoat with like big thick cut cuffs around the sleeves and this sort of heavy embroidery, a big sort of round feathered cap, sort of hair that is of a orangish red color that sort of flows down to the back of the neck and poofs out a little bit, and probably a cocky smile at this point.
So you would know that he is nodding to you to just like light the last candle, essentially.
Okay. I will respond back to him, and I will say, if you'd like more friends, I'd probably trust you to take the bag off. He's not going to talk unless he knows where he is.
Fine. And he grabs the thing. He's kind of rough with you, Zorag. Grabs some of your hair. Throws it off.
What the What is this green shit?
Yeah, as you light the last candle, the sigil lights up. Zorag, roll me a charisma save.
Man. Oh, shoot. Oh, -1 on this. A 9.
Okay, you fail. This is the effects of a zone of truth. You feel
Okay.
that you can't lie anymore.
Okay.
Um,
With Zone of Truth question, though, can I purposely not answer?
you could purposely not answer.
Okay, just so I know as a player for what happens next. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but go ahead.
Okay. So, was I supposed to ask him?
I will shake my head and I will nod over to Zorag and give you a look and I'll say, "Good morning, Sunshine. I believe you were supposed to ask him about the cult."
Right, the cult. So, been working with the cult, have you?
What cult?
The cult of the dragon.
Dragon.
And at this point, the mention of the word dragon, my eyes kind of flash. I'm not going into a rage yet, but they begin to flash like orange. Like bright orange, as opposed to the orange that's there.
We have an angry one. Oh, it's gonna be fun ripping his spinal cord out.
You try it, and I'll use your bones to kill that fucking dragon.
I'm gonna pull out my deck and start shuffling. Just to myself.
Mm-hmm. So, if you don't work for this cult, why release the dragon?
I'm gonna try and I'm not gonna try and bust out, but he sees that I get real tensed up.
That fucking gnome. When I find him, I'll wring his damn neck. I didn't know that he would be a damn dragon.
Gnome. Tell me more about this gnome.
I'm gonna roll a d20 real quick.
Yeah, go for it,
Anything
bro.
over a 10, I'll tell him. Anything under a 10, I won't say anything about him. So 5. It's like,
That's none of your concern.
oh wait, this is zone of truth, so I'm just gonna say silent. I'm not gonna answer the question.
I mean, I guess we get to do it the way I want.
We will switch back over to Valeada. As... Hold on. I should have just made separate maps for this.
This is so good.
I love it.
Duplicate the map real quick and you can.
Yeah, it's fine at this point. So we're back with Aelin, this tiefling woman, and Valeada. She says, well, you see, we have been following this cult, whose presence is ever growing, ever since the events of, the dragon's revival. And Aelin here tells us that you could be of some use to us.
Yeah, but I didn't tell you to kidnap them. They would have came if you just let me ask. Dang it, SB.
You realize that we have to do our due diligence. These crew were responsible for releasing the very thing causing chaos along the Sword Coast.
Yeah, so how come you don't have me in a chair,
You came to us and gave us all that you knew. That is a trustworthy thing to do. But
We do not plan to keep your friends here. We just wanted to make sure.
Aylin's gonna shake her head, look over at Valeada. I'm sorry, I really just wanted to seek you out and ask you to come, but she's higher ranking than me.
You were not harmed. Were you?
Didn't look like it was going to continue that way.
Yeah. Idle threat. I thought maybe you talk once you... did not work. You are stubborn.
Yeah, you're going to have to try a little harder.
Well,
But I told you what we know. Not a whole lot. So
Do
what's
you
your
s-
plan now to take care of this?
what would you say if we had a way for you to seek revenge for your fallen dwarf friends?
For a moment, like the veins in her eyes begin to glow, and she just shakes it off. And how would you say that happens?
You work with us?
Who exactly is us?
We are the Harpers.
Should have figured as much.
We seek to keep evil at bay through any means.
Looking down, what does Valeada all have on her person?
She essentially just has the clothes that she would wear under her armor.
Okay. Well, if I were to help you, do you have my things?
We do.
And am I the only one here? Just me and Aelin gonna go save the world?
We have assembled a team.
Oh.
Come
Bragg's
with me.
here.
Can I trust you?
I mean, do I have a choice?
Not really.
That's what I thought.
She goes over, nods at Aelin to come over, and they start undoing your shackles.
Kind of rubs her wrist where the shackles were, and she stands up.
She begins to leave the room. She starts heading out of the room. She turns to you and says, "Your things are in the chest. Go ahead, gather them. Meet me down the floor. And
If there's any damage to any of these things,
your things are fine." And she starts to walk out the door, just leaving you and Aelin in the room.
she will slowly begin to walk over to the chest, just staring down Aelin the whole time.
Aelin rubs the back of her head. Believe me, I just wanted to go over and ask you, but she has seniority over me.
She's higher ranking than a spy, then, huh?
Well, even spies have a hierarchy of sort. We all have to answer to someone. Even she has to answer to someone.
And you couldn't just tell him that we didn't know what was happening, that we were
I
also
did.
tricked?
I did, but
Didn't
SB
seem she
is...
believes you.
SB likes to consider herself thorough.
She'll open the chest to see what's all inside.
All your things. There's your armor's in there, your weapon's propped up against the chest, your backpack is leaned up against the chest, everything.
begins to don the armor, looking over each piece as she puts it on to make sure it's perfectly intact the way she left it.
Yeah. Roll me, roll me an investigation check just for the shit of it. You know.
Just for-
Does it
just
take like an
whatever.
hour to don
Or
heavy armor or something?
It's 10 minutes or something. It's something
Okay.
ridiculous where you'll drown if you're doing it. But yeah, it's like 10
Cool.
minutes or something.
Yeah.
Aelin just
So
leans up against the table while Valeada's donning her armor.
it's dimly lit in here, so it's hard to tell if there's any new dings or anything in it. Anything else you want to do in this room before heading below?
So, do you know anything about this team they're assembling?
Other acquaintance of ours is here too.
You said Zorag, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
he took to it
imagine.
Very
Yeah,
well.
he's Ripcord's with him right now, so they're probably
Ripcord. That's a
Appar-
name.
apparently he claims he ripped out someone's spine once upon a time. So,
So
yeah,
you do
there's a
associate
50-50
yourself with
chance.
good
Yeah.
people.
Well,
To be fair, Jaw Ripper, what can you do? The last thing she puts on is her gauntlet and squeezes it for the shield to come out to make sure it's still there, then closes it back up, picks up her flail.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah.
all seems to function.
but yeah, hey, Valeada,
Yes.
it is good to see you again.
I wish her on better terms. She'll start to walk out of the room.
I deserve that. And she'll follow her out.
So you descend this dark staircase to the next floor down, where there is a very similar room, and you hear all sorts of yelling. Ah! You know, Zorag. You hear, "Hold still, it'll hurt less." Shit
Get
like
the
that.
fuck off of me!
I assume this is where our friend is.
Yeah.
And
Aelin will knock on the door.
Espy, the tiefling woman, is waiting at the door. If you could perhaps convince your friend to work with us. I don't think he's going to listen to pain or reason from us. And she opens the door. And Valeada, Aelin, and Espy step in. Zorag, you can see your friend step in. It's really confusing. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
If I saw that, I'd be like,
Valeada, what the fuck?
and I'm like trying to like jut away from this dude as he's got this knife trying to come at me, I assume.
Yeah. As soon as the door opens, is the guy that's wrestling with him, Goliath? Is that what I'm reading from that token?
Yes, he is a Goliath. He's
She will
big.
take a pause for a second. 'Cause this is the first time I've ever seen a Goliath. And then she'll tell him to step down. And she'll just start walking right towards Zorag.
Ripcord looks to to Espy. Espy nods, backs off. He's got like his hand on Zorag's spine, like back.
She'll
Aelin's just shaking her head.
she'll go right up to Zorag and kneel down. So they took you too, huh?
What the fuck is going on? I was on my way to Ungald when this shit happened.
Aelin decided to talk to her friends about the things we went through, and they took it as we're working for the thing that Jeb was working with.
I told
I
them
would work
otherwise.
for
They didn't
something
believe
that killed
me.
my village.
I
To be
know.
fair, we were just making sure, doing our due diligence.
Not helping. So, I know how much you want to probably take this guy out, but I think we need to work with them for now. They seem to want to stop that dragon as well.
Zorag's gonna look at this Goliath, just like staring at him, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you one day. But then he looks back at Valeada and he's like, he just looks at her, puts his head down, he's like, let me out of these shackles.
He'll look to the guy.
Like, I kind of mumble that.
Yeah. Look to the guy. Can you let him out? Or maybe somebody he doesn't want to kill. She'll look around there.
Yeah.
Aelin starts stepping forward. Zorag, I'll let you out.
So you're the one who caused this.
No. They outrank me. I don't agree with their methods, but they outrank me.
There was never
He just
any
growls.
harm that was going to be done to you. This...
Was there never any harm? She looks right at the Goliath.
Was you supposed to hurt him?
Well, I'm on the first Goliath. That means to not be bad.
Okay. So you release Zorag. Everybody kind of gets a little antsy, to make sure he doesn't, act out.
Yeah, because my veins are kind of protruding right now. I'm still pretty mad about what's going on right now.
As soon as he's unshackled, Valeada will put her hand out to him. It's good to see you again.
Likewise.
She'll help him to his feet.
This is all wonderful and all, but now that you're awake, we would like to discuss what has been going on. There is a sum of gold in it for you, if you were to help our efforts.
I don't think it's the goal that we'd be after.
Fair enough. And she again starts to walk out of the room. If you guys can follow her. Zorag, your stuff is in the chest, in the corner. So if you would like to go gear up as well.
Yeah, I'll go over there and pop the top of the chest, and it's all like light to no armor at all. It's just it's aesthetic, if anything. So I kind of grab my axe and my javelin, put them on, and really just same thing Valeada did, rubbing his wrists and everything, because I'd imagine when I tried to pull up, it probably cut into me a little bit. I'm kind of rubbing that. It's like, as I don everything, it's like,
Valeada, what is going on?
I don't know. They said they had some team assembled and they're going after the dragon cult.
Ivern, you would know you're a part of this team.
As he's donning his stuff, I'll walk out first and I'll just look over as he's doing it and I'll say, Jaw Ripper, and I'll walk off. As I point to, I imagine the goblin jaw of whatever you have left.
I do have some bone meringues left, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I think I have two bone meringues left. So yeah, I want to pull those out of the chest also.
Yeah. So,
by the way, DM, real quick, I still have inspiration that I never used from season 1. Can I use that?
He's
or do you
really
wanna get
trying
rid
to
of it?
cheese the system here.
No,
You
I'm
told me.
saying if you want to get rid of it, get rid of it. I don't care. But I was just happen to notice it on my character
Get
sheet.
rid
I
of
was
it.
like, hey.
if I rolled above a 10, you could have kept it, but I rolled a 3, so.
Okay, yeah, so I'll put everything back on, and I guess we start following.
Yeah,
I'm sticking really close to Valeada, though, because she is the most trusted person Zorag knows at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Ivern and Aelin and Ripcord lead you down to this, well, actually, probably on the same floor, down a hallway, and to the right, there's this small room, just lit by candles and a little bit of light coming through the window, but the window is mostly kind of boarded up so that people can't see through. There's this long table with papers and daggers, pens, quills, and a few people sitting around the table. One being Harper Espy. And Espy holds her hand up to you and kind of motions to sit down. Sit.
Zorag continues to stand. He's by a chair, but he just stands by the chair with his hands on the chair.
Prop myself up against a wall.
Aelin will sit. Aelin will sit by Valeada after looking for permission.
And she doesn't acknowledge that you're trying to sit by her. She just allows it if you're going to do it.
Yeah, she sits.
Let me roll something. Is this going to be a problem?
What,
The chairs?
You working together?
Remains to be seen, I suppose.
Who are we working with?
The Harpers. Aelin and Ivrin here.
I'm gonna take a look at Ivrin, kind of looking him up and down. What do I see when I take a scan of him?
Pale half elf, red hair, big hat with the feather in it. Nice overcoat. Definitely like shuffling a deck of cards off in the corner. It's he does it a lot. You just hear this constant.
Get a nervous tick.
Sure, like a fidget spinner.
Like a fidget spinner.
I'm gonna look at Valeada, just kind of, because I would assume that I would be standing up still with my hands on a chair next to where Valeada would have been sitting, and just kind of whisper to her, like,
How do you feel about this? I don't know any of these people.
I don't either, other than the actions they've taken so far, which doesn't put them in good light. But I'd like to see what information they have.
I as well, but I will remain standing. The last time I was in a chair from these people, they restrained me.
That's fair. Right? She'll look over to Espy.
Alright, and perhaps it was a mistake. I am sorry.
Aelin throws her hands up in the air in exasperation.
So, we've gathered you here for... We believe you are just the people we need. The cult has been gathering forces, growing in size and power, and being quite a nuisance. Recently, they've captured one of our own, Harper by the name of Leosin. We've gathered you here not only for hearing of your exploits from Aelin, but you know the area as well. This, the cult seems to be amassing at the valley between some mountains, over by a town familiar, I believe, to you, called Phandalin.
Yes.
and he kind of hangs his head down in shame when at the mention of Phandalin.
Do you see why we contacted you now?
Could have done a better job.
He's
Would you have
staring
come?
down the entire time.
We've heard stories of the beast in the north, cutting down anything that comes his way.
I clench my fist onto the chair, like really tight, whenever I hear that.
And you?
trying to lose yourself in your work? There's no knowing exactly what the cult is up to. But I have feelings that you may want to protect this Phandalin. Quiet.
In thought.
You love reminding people of their failures.
And at this point, I'm staring her directly in the eyes.
I believe it is what makes people stronger.
Hearing that, he looks back down. Like, he's got this look of shock for a moment, and then he looks back down.
So, if you choose to accept it, we are asking you to rescue this Leosin and gather any intel that he or you may know.
It is my duty to protect those of these lands. So I will go. But you expect the four of us to take on this cult that's growing in size?
Not yet. Unless you see an opportunity, but simple rescue mission. See, we work on information, and using that information, we find the key targets to attack, dismantle without massive scale war. We use precise tools. Precision.
And what's his deal over there? Excuse me for not trusting new people right away, but I've had my share of backstabbings, you could say.
Sure. That's fine. I get it. Trust is something to be earned. But I, for one, think this is going to be a whale of a time. Nothing screams team bonding than rescuing a captured person who's probably been beaten to an inch of their life. Right?
I mean, isn't that what you were pretending to do to us as we were tied to a chair?
Listen, I for one feel really acquainted with you in particular. I've been staring at the back of your mangy head for the past, 3 days?
I'm like gripping this chair really tight. Can I do like a strength check to see if I actually crack the top of this chair as I'm clenching down on it?
Sure.
Okay. Get all the good rolls out of the way. That way I roll terrible for the rest of the game. 22.
Yeah, just and it kind of shatters into some wooden shards.
Don't worry, Mountain Man. You could crush me like a fucking pea if you wanted to. I'm no stranger to that. It's fine. We'll get along like friends.
So, Zorag, what say you?
If it helps to find the dragon that destroyed my entire village.
And he looks around the room at all these unfamiliar faces.
Then I'll accept this. But do not think that I will go like some slave to do your bidding.
We do not expect that. You are free. We only offer this to you because we know your connection, and we believe it is a fight you will want to fight.
And do you have any idea of where it is other than some valley close to Phandalin? Any kind of map for a general area? where we should be looking, what for.
Yes, and she begins to sprawl out this map. Leosin last checked in at this location here. She points to a spot on the map, kind of near Phandalin, but far enough away that, you know, it's not... but yeah, it's like kind of between these two parts of the mountain that kind of come out into these foothills, and it's in there. We have noticed a gathering of a large movement of cult forces up the Sword Trail. The hell is the name of that trail?
Tribal?
The High
Down
Road.
the Tribor Trail? Oh, the High Road.
We are willing to give you 10 days rations each, and a stipend of 50 now, 50 on completion.
When do we leave?
Soon as you are ready.
Do you
He
have
draws his axe.
Do you have any sort of way of sending a message quickly?
You are on top of your game. No, I'm just kidding. She reaches into her pocket, and she goes, Aelin, this is for you. You are my most trusted disciple. And she hands you this ring. It's got like this little blue gem with a sigil of a crane on it. It's a ring of paper crane or whatever it's called. You can use this ring to send little magical paper cranes to a person that you know, essentially, the gist of it.
Neat.
As you learn information, please try to send it our way, and be careful when and where you send it, as these can be intercepted.
I was mostly worried about letting my mother know I'm okay since you kidnapped me.
Ah.
Aelin is biting her lower lip really hard to try and not say anything to interrupt SB.
Quick question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know where I was before I was mysteriously kidnapped? Like where I was at, if I was in a city or on a trail somewhere?
You were probably, if you were heading to Udengald, you were probably somewhere along the long trail, or the long road. I keep calling them trails. The long road.
Okay.
Probably between Tribor and Long Saddle. Somewhere in there.
Okay.
So you'd made it fairly south.
Well,
We have a wagon that is sending provisions from our fort here to Neverwinter in the morning.
Where exactly is here?
Welcome to Waterdeep.
another cart full of provisions to start a journey, huh?
I laugh. Just like, I start chuckling, but it's like that chuckle where it's like, are you shitting me?
So, essentially, she explains to you guys that the wagon is scheduled to go from Waterdeep to... I guess we can roleplay this out. The wagon is heading from Waterdeep to Neverwinter. It will not be stopping or making detours. So, as it gets near the Tribord Trail, that is when you go on foot.
I've hiked my fair share of plains.
And we know that trail well.
Good. Alright then. It is time for me to go.
Where are you going during all this?
I have to inform my higher-ups.
If you wish to stay the night, there's barracks. Aelin can show you where. But goodbye.
I don't see where else we'd go.
And she gets up, and Ripcord and the like one or two other people that were in the room get up and start to leave, just leaving you four there.
If all he does will follow, her eyes will follow Ripcord as he leaves.
Well, I think we should probably get introduced. For those of you that don't know, hi, I'm Ivrin. It's nice to meet you. Looks like we'll be getting some gold together, so looking forward to it. Your names? I'll hold out my hand.
Hi, Ibrin.
Valeada. I've seen you before, right? Aelin?
Yeah, and I've seen you around a couple of times. Hard to forget that hat.
Well, thanks. It's quite nice. And I know the big man. I'm not going to shake his hand because he'll probably break it. But it's nice to meet you.
That
So-
remains to be seen.
Okay. Sure. Warm
So,
reception.
You want
Had me
to...
tied to a chair.
I
Technically,
guess
he tied
not
you to the
my-
chair. I just watched.
And it wasn't my idea. I warned them that you guys would not appreciate being taken quickly to chat with.
Oh. We've had somebody with us who just gotten their throat slit, and another's turned into a dragon. How do you feel your chances are faring?
I feel great.
Good. You'll need that confidence.
Well-
Just to throw that out there too, Zorag has this long gash going across his left eye, and the eye itself is completely cut into, so it's completely blind in that eye.
Yeah,
Just to give a description.
this is a good opportunity now that we're finished that whole intro of roleplay. If you have any character changes design-wise you want to go over, obviously you guys had 6 months of downtime, and some things have changed. Zorag, when you went up north, you picked up a few things. Obviously, you also lost an eye, sort of.
Lost an eye. I no longer have a mohawk. It is a full head of hair that's kind of higher on the top than it is the sides. And I have a beard.
Valeada has an entire new suit of armor. It's all black and metal with silver linings to it. It's got these huge ridges on her pauldrons to protect the size of her head, and ridges on her hips, where you can see the blackening's already starting to wear off. Where Zorag would know, but I don't think the other two are as familiar with her. She put her hands when she's disappointed with people or thinking on their actions. And she has a new flail as well. That's also the same coloring. It's got like the 4 sections to the head with blades running down them. And her eyes aren't ice blue anymore. They are a duller bluish gray kind of color. Otherwise,
Alright.
freckled face
And-
and all.
Aw, so cute. Alright, and Aelin is now in a full dress with a sort of a leather corset that's covering her stomach, and is wearing extra high leather boots at the moment. But if you kind of look closely at her hips, you can kind of see where her weaponry is. And her hair is obviously a little bit longer. It's in, got a couple of extra braids in the back of it while it's still also down.
Cool. All right. So, do you all spend the night? Do you do some?
But
Yeah,
what
go ahead.
time is it?
It was during that. It was already night. The light that was shining through was moonlight. You'd probably have been able to tell just from the hue. It was probably more bluish. So it's probably like 9 p.m. or something. I don't know. It is now like early spring. You guys recall it was fall in Phandalin Season 1. Dwipe, it was winter, and now it's spring.
I would be using that ring to send a message to my mother. Let her know I'm not dead or whatever.
Aelin would have to... You'd have to ask Aelin.
May I use that ring?
Yeah, but we should go to the closest window and grab a piece of paper. So that you can write your message on it.
This is your place. Do you have any?
Yes, I do. She will reach, kind of slip her hand under the skirt of her dress and pull out her book. Ha! Got it. Rip out a page and hold a pen and paper over to Valeada. It's like, I'll fold into the crane and then she pauses like, and she looks over. Is SB for sure gone?
Yeah.
She'll slip off the ring and put it down on top. It's like, before we leave this room, I better have it with me to make sure she doesn't see.
All right. She will write out her letter.
And when she's done, Aelin will fold it into a lovely paper crane.
Okay, yeah, and it as you pick up the crane, the magic from the ring kind of begins to cover the crane, and then you give it the toss out the window. You just watch as it zips through the air toward Udengald. So, would y'all like to bed down for the night, or?
I will
Yeah.
not sleep
I'm sorry.
in the barracks. You know where I'm going.
Okay.
Like, do you
I would
guys
look
want-
around in this room. It looks like there's this room that we were in. It was like a talking hall, correct? Like this is what it seems to be, like where people come to meet.
Yeah, it's a meeting room. Yeah.
Would I see like drinks anywhere? Like maybe a cask somewhere? Believing
Yeah.
that it's like if this is a place where people meet, maybe they share a drink or two while they're discussing something.
Yep. It's
Go to that cask and see if there's any alcohol.
they are Harpers.
That's Zorag.
They're kind of fancier, at least these people. It's wine.
Fine. Is it in a box?
It's not in a box. It's in a barrel.
Like, oh. And I guess if there is a cup nearby, I'd probably just pour that and just start drinking it. But I'm mostly just in my own head at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Aelin is gonna look over at Valeada while Zorag is drinking and go, yeah, the barracks aren't really that comfortable. If you want, I can bring you guys over to my own place.
Zorag?
Just tell me where to sleep.
I think the barracks will be fine for us, thank you.
Okay. I'll show you which way to go. And she will lead them down to the barracks.
Sweet. Yeah, in here it's a longish room with just bed after bed after bed. Each bed's got its own like little nightstand and chest to store your stuff in. Few candelabras, lining the room. But they're expected to be out after a certain time. There's already, just a couple people bed down there. Yeah, you make yourself comfortable, pick a bed, and go to sleep.
Actually,
Okay,
I don't want to go to sleep yet.
that's fine.
Is Aelin with us? Because what I'm about to do, I wouldn't do if Aelin was around.
Aelin, would you be
Just
sleeping
because
there?
this is
or-
Zorag.
Nah, she's got her own house, and since she's leaving, she's gotta take care of some shit, like give her pet rock over to a neighbor or something.
Okay.
Alright, guys, I'll be back around dawn, and I'll show you the way to go.
He just kind of snarls at it a little bit because of the way he was treated today.
Again, I'm sorry, not my idea. I hope you get a decent rest. See you later. And she leaves.
Valeada,
Yes.
it's strange to see you here. I was actually on my way to Udengald to seek you out.
Why were you coming to Udengald?
After some time in the north, I ran into some things that allowed me to think.
And I kind of touch my eye a little bit that's blind.
I'm tired of failing. I remember a pact you and I made about hunting a dragon.
Well, looks like we're gonna get another chance at that. What, if I may ask, what did happen to your eye?
A hard lesson that I feel I needed to learn.
Sometimes the only way to learn them is through the hard way.
Well, Valeada, God of the Mountain, was it?
Yes.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Zorag Jaw Ripper, was it?
I believe so. My last name tends to change depending on what's going on.
Flexibility.
But it is good to see you. It really is.
It's been too long. I still have your horn. She'll pull it off the belt.
You see like this look of shock in his eye a little bit, like,
It's still there. I wasn't expecting to see this again.
Well, since we're together again, I don't. Did you want it back? Since
he kind of looks down and he's like,
No. Keep
Well.
it.
just in case we get separated, then she'll put it back on her belt.
I'm going to say that I took that wine down with me. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to pull out this silver goblet with moonstones on it. And
seen it, she would pull hers out too.
and I'm going to pour wine in my glass, and I'm going to pour wine into hers, and I'm going to hold it up, and it's like,
To regaining our honor.
To our honor and to those who need protection.
yeah, he just nods and then drinks it down.
Yep. She will drink as well.
Good night, old friend.
Good night. I'll see you in the morning to head back on the trail.
With that, you know what? That's probably a good spot to go to a break. It's a little early, but that's a good spot. So, thank you all for watching so far. We will continue in another 10, 15 minutes or so. Oh, my phone's telling me that we're going on a break, so perfect timing. We will be back in just a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. That wasn't even like English. Welcome back, everybody. Last we left off, the crew got back together and was about to head on a cart toward the direction of Phandalin. So, as we wake up in the morning, you all stretch, get your belongings together, head out the door, and out there, Ivrin and Aelin are waiting at the entrance. And before you is... You kind of... Would you guys have put up a stink about being bagged and like bags over your head again?
Yeah, I wouldn't appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, we need your help, but we're gonna abduct
Yeah.
you and put a bag over your head and then threaten to kill you.
Okay, so they kind of like go for the bags. They get like the feeling that, okay, we got to trust them, and if we want them to trust us, so they don't put the bags over your heads. They kind of guide you out of the building, and you go through this like elaborate kind of you kind of find out that you were like kind of below ground almost, and you were brought up and out into this alleyway. And as you exit the alleyway is where you see Aelin and Ivrin waiting for you, and it's just this sprawling city before you with carts and nice stone roads, these lampposts that are lit by magic. It is now day, so they're probably not lit, but you would imagine they would be lit on a normal day. Ivrin and Aelin probably begin to walk you out of Waterdeep toward the north gate. Ivrin probably pointing things out along your way, like, oh, this is a good tavern. This is the Yawning Portal Inn Tavern. I forget if it's tavern or inn. Super famous place. You guys might have heard of it. And yeah, he guides you out the north ward and through the field ward, which, as you go through the field ward, it's kind of like a more like lower class kind of place. The nice, splendid houses and storefronts that you saw in the city, as you go into this next ward of the city, start to kind of, lose their sheen. And then eventually go out the north gate, and there's the carriage waiting with the provisions. On this cart, there's the driver's just this human dude, very nondescript, like kind of maybe like 40s, balding. He's got on like one of those little British boy hats. Knitted black hat.
Does oh, okay. Interesting description.
Everybody knows those. Equa has one.
Yeah. So if you guys want to just start traveling, that's fine.
Once they get out there, she sees somebody is driving. Well, I said, just give me a moment, and I'll be ready to go. She'll walk like a couple paces away from the cart and close her eyes and start searching for the spirits and any faint wind that's coming down from the mountain as she calls to him, and begins focusing on her spell. That does take 10 minutes. I won't roleplay the whole 10 minutes of this, but
yeah.
Essentially, she's just standing there still as the wind starts blowing her hair, and in front of her, it begins to sparkle as the wind passes through, and slowly the form of a very large horse that's wearing armor appears in front of her.
Yeah, like
she can summon steed.
Yeah, as you casting it starts to form, it's kind of like already galloping a little bit toward you, and it's like lets out a neigh as it fully forms.
She saddles up on it. So I'm ready.
It's cool.
Should we
Didn't know you could do that.
It's newer. The spirits help me call on my horse from back home. It's not the same horse, but it's a representation of him.
What's his name?
Ajati.
I'm going to struggle to pronounce that. I'll tell you that right now. Do we all get one, or is it just you?
Just me.
That's fine. Oh, that's fine.
Like, can I pet him?
Sure.
Aelin reaches up to pet the spirit horse of Jati. Pet.
Oh, he snorts. Yeah, snorts a little bit. Other than that.
She giggles and then just climbs into the cart.
Okay. There is going to be some more developed travel rules in this game, just because there's going to be a bit of travel. However, a lot of it can be dealt off-screen after the session. It's mostly going to be paying attention to rations, things like that. But this is a fairly easy journey, one that's made often from Neverwinter to Waterdeep. Probably one of the most common journeys in Faerun, really. So this one's not going to be too much of a struggle. You've already got a cart. So what I'd say is roll me a D100. One of you.
Everybody?
Who wants to do it?
Just
Or
one.
one.
Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
I'll do
Do it, Nyssa.
Okay.
Yay. 79.
So what are
roll.
you all doing on this trip? Like, do you guys have different jobs you're doing, aka somebody's scouting ahead, you know, the standard travel stuff?
I would definitely be keeping my eyes out. Reminiscent of the first episode of first season. You know, keep my eyes out, seeing what's going on.
You see
Yeah.
an arrow peeking out from the bushes.
Kill it. It's a damn goblin.
Yeah, I'd probably be riding a little bit ahead of the cart to watch.
Okay, so you're riding ahead of the cart, going
Yeah.
ahead.
I still got this cask of
Camping.
wine that I'm pouring in my goblet, so
So,
You actually took it? I thought you just brought
yeah,
it
yeah.
to your
Fuck
room.
them.
Okay,
No,
fair enough.
they trapped me in a chair. Screw those people.
Fair enough. Nobody, you know, they kind of noticed when you were leaving too, and they just didn't say anything because you were like, "Ugh." They're like, oh, okay, don't want to piss that guy off.
Don't make me rage. I'll kill all the Harpers.
So,
that includes Aelin, so you want to know.
so anybody who's keeping an eye out, just roll me a perception check.
Okay.
How many people can do this?
If your character is actively keeping an eye out, you can do it.
Ah! We're not very good at what we're doing. We're
It's a
still sidetracked at the
10
fact
from
that
Zorag.
you know,
There.
5 from
we were
Valeada,
tied to a chair.
I got a
13
13.
from Ivrin, and 22 from Aelin. Okay, so you guys know from, you know, probably talking to the driver at some point, that this is about, where you're getting off is about like 10, 11 day travel. And that's the point that you're going to be jumping out of the cart. So I would say about the like 6th night, just riding on this cart, setting up camp. Aelin, it's starting to become night again. Well, actually, it's already night. You've been traveling probably like an hour in dark, and you're getting ready to settle down for the night. And you see a campfire just off into the woods, maybe, I don't know, meters for Canadian people. But
Meters are the same. It's the kilometers and miles that are different.
Gotcha, okay. Well, it's probably a soccer field into the woods, the tree line. You see the flickering of a fire.
All right, she will notify everyone and kind of put her hand on the driver to get him to slow down. All right, guys, Valeada, someone's camping out into the woods over there.
As a general rule of thumb, every night I will ritual cast Tiny Hut to prevent from, you know,
Okay.
shit happening.
So do you head like off the road to do this, or do you just like plop in the middle of the road?
We'll head off the road, I think,
Okay.
to do the hut.
So, to your left is mostly coast. There you have enough. There's land there, you know, but there's not many trees or anything to hide in. If that's what you're going for, unless you want to just camp out in the open with the hut, you can do that. This is a pretty safe trail. It's, again, very commonly used. It's not uncommon to see other people who are traveling along camped off to the side. So would you rather, set up in the wood line or along the shore? Or-
We'll still do it in the wood line because it's easier to camouflage. But I don't want to go too far, and I don't want to put it in a dangerous place. Just off the road in the start of the tree line.
Okay.
Not too far in.
Cool. And with this information of there being a campfire not too far, what would you guys do? If anything.
Aelin is super curious and wants to see if she can get a little closer and possibly just check to see who is there, not directly interacting unless they're a known party.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
I can do that.
Okay.
11.
An 11. So, I'm going to bring us over to this. That does not mean combat. I know for a lot of people that means combat. It's not
Fucking die!
As you approach Aelin, you... Hold on. Got the roll for them. Okay. As you approach, you step on a twig, it snaps, and you notice to your left there was one out here taking a whiz. And he's immediately alerted and starts to pull his pants up as he's alerted to your presence. Would the others have followed or been trying to keep an eye?
I just watched. I would have watched around because I'm on a horse in heavy armor.
Now I'm just chilling by where we made camp.
Okay. Cool. And you guys actually aren't that far either, so you probably could have had an eye on her a majority of the way there. Anyways, Aelin, you get seen, and this guy's like, "Hey, who's out there?"
Can I see him looking at me?
He's looking around for you. He definitely heard you. We're not
Alright. She's
hostile.
gonna stay quiet.
Please don't hurt us. You hear
She's
another...
Yeah, she's gonna just stay quiet and low.
Hear another voice. Who are you talking to out there? We got plenty of mead. If you'd like to take a seat. And, if there is no response from Aelin, they do get up and they start investigating because they know better than to let somebody ambush them. So they start, picking up some weapons and stuff and do start looking around. And they say, "I'd make yourself known if you're..."
Alright. Aelin will cast disguise self on herself, whispering and doing a little spell just to make herself have darker features, look more humanoid
Cool.
than half elf. Just pretty much changing her dress color to green and having tanned skin and small ears and dark hair.
Cool. With that, they hear you cast a spell. Let me make sure there's verbal components or not before I say that.
Yeah, there is.
So they kind of hear a spell will go off, and they're like, "Whoa, take it easy there."
Okay, here, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. You're probably out here somewhere under this tree. I guess this person was peeing over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the woman who is sitting on one of the logs shouting in toward you, says, "Don't be afraid. We're just here traveling. We're heading to the party."
Alright, Aelin will slowly stand up, showing her hands are empty. And she will say, Oh, I'm very sorry. I saw the fire and want to make sure you guys weren't bandits.
That is fair enough. We were the same.
Alright. Sorry for disturbing you. Sorry for starting you in your little pee session there. Meant no harm. I will just go back to my own campsite. I hope y'all have a good evening.
Fair enough. Where are you off to?
Oh, just heading towards Neverwinter.
Ah. That's where we're going as well. Are you heading to the party?
Party? What party?
Neverwinter Ball?
Oh, that. Nah. Not gonna
Ah.
make it not gonna go to the ball. Just going in for some trading.
Great. Okay, so, are you, you're just intending to leave, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. With that, like, alright, well, take care. If you want to enjoy some company, come on back.
Thank you kindly for the invitation. Hope y'all have a good evening and have fun at that party.
Alright, with that, you turn around, the guy who was peeing starts to walk back to the stump. They all kind of relax, put their weapons down, and you can return to your group.
And as she gets back closer to the area, she'll drop the spell and just go. They're fine. They're just travelers heading to Neverwinter for that weird ball thing.
Oh, thing.
What was that, Equa?
What ball thing? I said.
Are you questioning it?
Yeah.
Apparently there's some kind of ball big party going on in Neverwinter soon.
Roll me a history
Have I
check.
heard of such a thing? Cool.
I knew it was coming.
Should I? You want me to roll a history check as well?
Sure, if you want. If you're like now thinking about it. You are
Yeah.
from Neverwinter, right? So that makes sense.
Yes.
I would say you have advantage. Okay.
17.
The Neverwinter Ball usually isn't for another couple months. Summer Ball.
Yeah, they're going to the summer ball, but it's weird. It's usually not on for a few more months.
So you think they were just lying to get you? Were they about to kidnap you? Is that what's gonna happen?
They invited me to drink, interrupt one of them taking a piss, so who knows? They could be lying, or they intend to party until the actual bar.
I ain't tempted to see what they have to say. What about you two? What do you think? You wanna go check it out?
Think we leave him alone? Move a little ways down the road and camp there? But this is your party.
Personally,
After one thing, I don't really care about these people on the side of the road.
They'll be right back, and I just leave.
Okay. You're heading-
Aylin's just slowly shaking her head, and oh yeah, did they see my disguise when I came back? Because I dropped it when I was within eyesight of the group.
They were probably looking out. So I would say make perceptions for anybody. Just real quick to determine
Was
if you
she
caught her.
within torchlight?
You know what? Probably not. So
Then I
anybody
probably wouldn't see it at
without
all.
dark vision probably is not going to be able to.
Yeah, I didn't. see it.
Zorag would have caught your disguise enough.
Right, Aelin just kind of scratches the back of her head a little bit under her hair. Is like, I don't want to go back over there. They're drinking mead. She grimaces. Don't like mead.
So, Equa, what is your plans here? Are you just going out to straight up talk to him, or are you...
Walking straight there.
Cool. All right. You walk right up to the camp. They are alerted to you. They're not super worried because they figure it's probably Aelin coming back. But you do see them kind of reach for their weapons.
As I walk up, I'll say, "Are you lads? How are we doing on this fine night?"
You know, can't wait to get to the destination.
Right, and where's that?
Neverwinter. You been?
Sure, once or twice. I'm not a frequenter of the area, but I've seen a little bit. Why, what are you headed there for?
You know, the Neverwinter Ball.
Ah, sounds like a right laugh. Tell me, why? I thought that was a summer thing.
Right, we like to do the pre-game and...
Interesting, I see. Well, tell you what, if you would engage me in some conversation about you going to this ball, I've noticed your campfire's lacking a little bit of music, so how about I repay the favor and then we can drink our asses off? How about that?
Roll me a persuasion check. Now you have him on edge.
16.
Yeah.
Unless it's diaper. It's not diapers.
We could use a bit of music.
Oh, that I can oblige, and I will pull the violin off my back and I will go wild.
Alright. So, roll me a performance.
That's a 20.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You might have
try.
won some of these hearts over. So how long
Can
do you...
we hear this music over at the
Yes.
other camp?
You could totally hear the music.
Huh. Well, he's not dead yet.
They offer you ale. They kind of talk random stories. How long do you stay?
I'll stay, 30 odd minutes and see what I can get out of them. And if it's engaging and if it's of interest to me, then I'll stay a little bit longer. But I don't want to spend more than an hour over here.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing anything else while you're there besides just chatting? Like, you seemed suspicious of them. I didn't know if you were...
I will get as much information on the ball as I can. I'll get names if I can and see if I recognize any of them to be important people, or what it is that they're going to be doing there. And if anything I think doesn't line up, then I'll be keeping an eye out for them lying to me in particular.
Yeah, they talk about how it's going to be like Lord Neverember's a celebration of like Lord Neverember. That would be a big name that you would know. They seem... Roll me an insight check.
Beautiful. 13.
They seem a little on guard. They didn't like that you were prying. You've kind of loosened them up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you're asking a lot of questions.
Sure.
And they seem to be getting a little bit nervous about it.
Okay. I don't have any alcohol on me. Shit.
They have alcohol.
I will, did we get paid the 50 up front for...
You got 50 up front.
Okay. At the end, when I think I've driven all the questions out of them that I can, I will tip them... How many people are there? That's 5. I'll tip them a gold each. And I will say, Well, lads, I appreciate the drinks and the fun times. Hopefully I'll see you there. I'm thinking this party might need a little bit of me in there. Maybe I'll see you around.
Cheers to that. They hold up their mugs and kind of like awkwardly laugh. As
Hold it up, down it, and put it down.
Yeah, as I assume you start to walk back to your camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fair dues. Yeah, you start back to your camp. You get there. Everybody's chilling. They've set up, they've tied the horses during the time you were gone. Started their fire. Anything else that they would typically do? I know you have your hut you're planning on setting up, so they probably waited to do some rolls and stuff, but...
And you can fit the horse in the hut too. That's fine. If you want to.
It's like linked to me, so it won't go anywhere, and if it dies, I can resummon it, because it's just a spirit. So.
Fair enough.
Cool. So, with that, you guys bed down for the night. Sorry. You
Question,
wake up...
DM.
Yeah.
With where we're camped, I know we can either camp closer to the the tree line, which is where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
But how far away is the shore to us?
This is a good question.
Like, can I see the shore? Like, can I see water out in the distance or no?
I'm gonna say probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
You could probably smell the sea air.
You probably smell it.
Well, if I can smell the sea air, I'm pouring some wine into my goblet with moonstones, and as I pour it, I kind of sit there for a minute and I look out towards the west, where I can smell the ocean breeze, and I just hold a cup up to the ocean and just drink.
What's that? What are you doing?
A toast to don't worry about it. And
Aelin
All
has
right.
a small smile on her face.
Couple of drinks in this one and I'll get it out of it, mate.
Sorry, equal what? I didn't even hear what you said.
I think the Irish is coming on too strong. I said a couple of drinks in this one and I'll get it out of him.
Hey.
Yeah, you don't have to, Irvin. Ibrin.
I don't have to, but I will. Later.
So, morning comes to. You get up, put your stuff back on the carriage. You probably look over the direction of where the people are camping. They're gone. Just the, burnt twigs and logs left inside their makeshift stone pit. And the logs that they were sitting on left. And you continue. Until you get to the split off for the Tribor Trail. Which you are all free to hop off at. As you were told to do.
A question, DM. Did they say when the party in Neverwinter was going to be?
Since we kind of skipped over the talking, let's let me roll something, and then I want you to roll an insight, just for the hell of it. That'll be how I determine if this got brought up. Roll me an insight. Oh, did you? 13.
13 again.
They did. It did not line up.
Okay. Then we will hop off on to Phandalin, I guess.
Awesome. So you guys go on foot head down the Tribor
Me and
Trail.
my horse.
Yeah, you hop onto your horse, or I guess you were riding it the whole time. So
Mhm.
you peel off down the Tribor Trail. As you
As
guys
we
run
start off on this trail and everyone starts to go, I kind of stop for a minute
Mhm.
and I just kind of look. And then eventually seeing the party get further and further, if they haven't noticed that I've stopped moving, I just kind of look down and then just start slowly walking, covering the rear, keeping an eye out.
Aelin will. Can I do a roll for Aelin to see if she notices Zorag fall behind?
Sure. I think Tommy was kind of implying that you guys would eventually notice anyways, right?
Yeah, so like I stop. If they
Okay.
want to make a roll to see if they've noticed that, then that,
I
don't
think
really care, but
your perception, your passive perception probably covers it. So you guys would probably notice like, oh, something's not right here. And then you would turn back and notice Zorag still.
But what is it, Zorag?
it's nothing. I'm gonna start walking with the rest of the group.
Insight check.
Okay. What do I have to
11.
roll?
Are you hiding it or are you being open about it?
I mean, I guess if you're hiding some emotion from her, it would be deception.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You just beat it,
Alright.
so yeah.
Yeah, I think Valeada has a general idea of what he's thinking because she's thinking it too and isn't going to look into it further.
Okay. Yeah, he's hard to read, Aelin. I would say you probably know, like, this is just a weird place. Like, there's a lot of history here. So, this probably has to do with that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just ask you a question in our chats because I don't want to ask it on stream, so.
Slowly make our way down the trail. I'll keep pace with everybody, so.
Flexing on us now.
Yeah, you
I'm
know.
keeping a lookout, just reminiscent of that
Yeah.
back then. I am keeping a good lookout as we go down the Stribor Trail because I know this trail somewhat well.
There's a profinity for goblins popping out of bushes.
And me almost decapitating Valeada when I miss a swinging on a goblin.
And you guys know, based on the general map area, that it really wasn't too far onto the Tribor Trail that Leo Sin's last message was sent from, last known location. So, I don't know if you guys would start investigating anything. You probably give me a survival check. Anybody who's kind of guiding the way.
I don't know if that I would, because I am behind everyone, but I am keeping a lookout. So that's up to you.
Yeah, I would say go ahead, roll me perception then. That'll work as well.
Yeah, I'll do the survival.
Ooh,
It won't be great.
I'm
but I'll
really
do
in
it.
my feels.
Ah, 8.
That's a 9.
Both of you guys suck.
Yeah, we do.
He's half kidding.
We're good at hitting shit, not looking.
Yeah, so you guys don't see any clear signs that would tell you that Leo Sin's been here or what happened. Do the two Harpers want to do anything?
Sure, Aelin will look around. She's been in this area a couple of times before. She'll just do perception.
I will inspire you.
Oh, thank you.
I will pat you on the back, and I will say, "Why don't you use those eyes and look a little further?" And I will I guess. Put you in magic. Pump some magic into you.
Then
Oh,
that's a nat 24.
No, not with
So
bardic inspiration.
You can add a d8 to your
Oh,
first
D8.
roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7 plus a D8.
Oh wow, I was
Which
gonna
is an
say
8.
you pretty much need to roll an 8 here, so congratulations.
Yeah, so
Um,
15.
15. You, as everybody's kind of like walking around, kind of aimlessly looking for any signs of Leosin, you come across, like a, you come across a shoe of his.
You rat bastard.
Kind of in some brush, by a tree. As you kind of investigate further, it kind of looks like there might have been a sort of fight here. Some bushes kind of, or tree, some twigs sort of snapped and some dirt moved. Looks like maybe somebody had fallen at some point prone. So if there was an area where something went down, it would probably be here.
Right. I
Lose their
found
shoes on
his
the trail.
shoe.
What'd you say, Alan? I'm
Uh,
sorry.
That's like, she will pick up the shoe and, get everyone's attention to get them over there. I think this might be his shoe.
Is it the left
there
shoe or the
any-
right shoe?
God damn it. That was the exact
He has
question.
2 left feet, okay?
It was the left shoe.
Rumshoe lost his left shoe. The plot thickens.
Alright, are there any footprints in the area that could have told us what Leonin had been fighting?
Yeah, go ahead, roll me a investigation or survival.
Okay,
Anybody-
investigation.
Yeah, anybody who wants to help or look themselves.
Yeah.
You're
I'll
free
help,
to.
so you have advantage.
Oh, wow,
20.
good roll.
Boys.
It looks like, judging by the prints, he probably got jumped by multiple people.
Yeah, he got ambushed. Dang. There's a lot of footprints. She starts pointing them out, and which way do the footprints end up leading towards?
They begin to head toward the direction of the mountain range, to sort of the southeast.
Alright.
Shall we follow?
I think that's a good idea.
Where are the tracks leading?
South-southeast towards the mountains.
I like to Valeada and nod.
Let's go.
All right, so you follow this trail, until you begin to hear some chatter amongst some people. What do you do?
Stop.
Stealth.
I'll hide. Sure.
Okay.
I'll stop and try to see if I can make out what's going on when I hear this.
Stealth checks, perception.
Sorry,
17.
everybody. Disadvantage.
So
6.
this is my perception, and this is my stealth. So 10 on perception and 8 on stealth.
Damn,
You know,
guys.
this
Okay.
is very reminiscent of
Hey,
last
you should
season.
go ahead and check it out for us, or some nonsense.
My perception ain't that good either right now.
Okay. You don't get a good look, Zorag. You hear some murmurings. One of the words you hear is party. And then after a few moments, they continue moving southeast.
Something about a party.
Let's start going.
Yeah, weren't your friends talking about a party?
Yeah. I call them friends. maybe not for so much longer.
So are you still being stealthy as you go, or are you like just going as if you have a purpose?
Could we maintain pace if we were stealthy? We couldn't, right?
You probably couldn't maintain pace.
Okay. I will turn to the group and I will say, all right, listen. They've seen me before. So we're going to play this like it's seeing an old friend. That's exactly what we're going to do. If you would all like to keep a wide berth, and then I will say when I need help for you to ambush them. How about the word Bahuki?
If you get in
don't
trouble,
even know
I'll
who you
disguise
are.
myself to the same thing and come back you up. Because these two know me a little bit better than you.
Right, but don't you want to get your paycheck at the end of the day? I want to get Leeson back, right? These are the people. Come on, we got a tactical advantage here.
Aylin's casting Disguise Self on her again for that same look that she had before with the green dress, tan skin, rounded ears, and dark hair. You may as well have backup because they saw me like this.
Great. Fantastic. Alright, let's go. Come on, you guys. And I'll just start going.
I guess I would keep pace.
I'm trusting you guys to help us here.
Yeah, he wanted us to stay back a little bit though, so I think we're staying back while they go forward.
No, I
too.
mean, I'm keeping pace with him, not with the group that we're pursuing. I'm keeping pace with
You're saying you're keeping pace,
Irvine?
but at Ivrin. You're keeping pace, but at
Ivrin.
like a certain distance away, you mean? Is that
Yeah.
what you mean? Okay, so you're like 10 feet
Yeah.
back, 20 feet back or something?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Within earshot back.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ivrin, Aelin, you approach this group, and they're like, kind of taken back. Funny to see your face again.
Isn't that just what I was thinking? What are you doing up here? I thought you were going to Neverwinter.
We are.
Well, this
Right.
isn't on the road to Neverwinter.
Oh, we must have got lost then.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Well, why don't I help you find the road again?
That would be wonderful.
How many people do I see with them?
There is, again, the 5. Same group. There's 2 humans, a dwarf, and either elves or half elves. It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay. I will, at that, I will walk into the middle of the group and I'll put my arms around 2 of them and attempt to feel for illusions. Whichever 2 are closest.
Okay. You wrap your arms around them. Roll me a... What would it be? Kind of a perception with advantage, because I think that's usually how you see illusions.
Sure.
Oh,
18.
So, yeah, something doesn't quite match there.
You know, I didn't get your names the other day. And it's such a shame because you got such good meat. What are they?
Hold on. Okay. You watch... You... Is Valeada, Zorag, roll me perceptions.
$18.
Okay.
Ah,
Valeada,
yes.
you see one of the ones that Ivrin has over, under his arm, begin to draw a dagger. And he goes to just thrust it into Ivrin's side.
I would rush.
Did I see this too in my 17?
Yeah, you do too.
Yeah, I would rush as soon as I saw this happening.
I draw a javelin and immediately throw it at the person.
We're gonna go into our first initiative.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, guys. Okay.
Y'all shouldn't have done that.
Oh, rolling that one on fucking initiative.
Don't forget to push your tokens.
We don't
There
have
are no
tokens.
tokens.
Oh, give me a second. Hold on.
So Grizz, I can
didn't know if
cutting
we were
words
doing
an
that.
attack roll. Do I have to say that before the attack roll goes or after?
I think before you know the roll, so you can still do it if you would like. Isn't that the way it works? I don't know. But yeah, I will say you can use it right now because you still don't know the roll, so that's fine.
That's alright, I'll let this one go through. Because I wasn't paying attention. That's too much metagamey
Oh my god,
stuff.
this is super intense.
I
This
love
might
it.
be too intense.
Oh, Zorag's gonna murder everything with this music.
Yeah.
Hype.
Okay, so let me get your character sheets onto the map here, just so you guys can click them.
The official, I don't know if you want to use the official wording of it or not, but it says you can choose to use this feature after the creature makes its roll, but
Okay.
before the DM determines whether the attack roll or ability check succeeds or fails.
So, Equa, I will roll it, or I'll let you know what the roll was, and then you can tell me. He rolled an 18.
I won't. I'll let it go through.
Okay. Alright, I'm getting your character sheets on here. I was not expecting this fight to happen here, so I'm a little underprepared on that one. Wait, alright. You should have your tokens there on the map.
We're doing great, Zorag. Oh my
and Tommy
god!
both.
What is happening?
2 1s and a 2.
Jesus Christ, man! So many dead ones. You'll probably have to input mine there, DM, because I'd rolled mine before the tokens were on the map.
Okie dokes. You had a nat 1,
So
right?
what I can do, yeah, I'll go ahead and click my token
Yeah, do that
and then
again.
re-roll. That way it's on there, and then you can adjust. And I get a nat 20 on the re-roll. What the fuck is this?
For some reason, your name still didn't appear. Did you click your token?
I did. It won't let me. Oh my god.
Do you not have control over your token?
No,
Oh, no.
I do. I was just on the ruler
Oh, I see.
mechanic, so
Okay.
let me go ahead and
Oops.
do it, and then it'll add,
one again.
and then you can adjust.
And then
that.
cut
Oh
in
look,
half.
it went from
3.
nat 1, nat 20 to an 11.
I'm just gonna put the 1 there.
Can I have the second roll?
No.
Can I use my inspiration from season 1?
Okay, so Ivrin. Well, actually, they get the sneak attack off on you. So it was an 18. And you said you were gonna let it go through. So this dagger, like you put your arms around their shoulders, and then you feel this sudden pain in your side, just above your hip, as this dagger is pierced for 3 piercing damage.
Bastard. Got you.
It's your turn. Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Yeah, he was the only one attacking, so that was the only surprise.
So.
Sorry, say again?
Aelin has an 8 though.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't even see that. Aelin. That's
Hi.
right. You go first.
Okay. Aelin is gonna immediately cast Ray of Frost over at the one that pulled the knife on Ivrin.
All right, roll it.
15?
Let me double check this. Yeah, that connects. So what's your Ray of Frost look like?
Ray of Frost just looks like a whole sparkling of small snowflakes, and when it impacts, it turns into a giant snowflake, leaving a cold mark on the impact zone.
Okay, great. Yeah, roll the damage.
9 cold.
You this person gets so cold their heart slowly stops beating and they fall. They're dead.
First bird.
You got the exact
Sorry,
number
Zorag.
of HP. Do you do anything else on your turn?
Aelin is going to just move a few feet closer towards the closest enemy, and she's gonna say in her disguised voice, it's like, you might want to drop your weapons there.
Yeah, roll me intimidation.
Alrighty. Aylin's not very intimidating. Oh, but
Hey,
then
not
again,
bad.
17.
Let me roll some saves and see. That didn't work at first.
And I just
Oh,
realized
wow.
I went Irish from Southern.
Believe it or not, they just make it. So they kind of like they look nervous, but they grit their teeth and prepare to continue attacking. Was that it?
Yeah, she'll stop about 10 feet away from the closest guy that she's going to.
Okay. Ivrin, you're up. You just been stabbed in your side.
Right, but that guy is dead now, right? That's the one that Aylin hit.
Is that the one you were going for?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that one is dead.
Okay, so how close are they all to each other?
You have one immediately to your left,
Mhm.
who you had your arm over. The other ones are probably each, somewhat gathered around. Maybe they each have like about 5 feet between each other or less. So some of them would be touching on the map. Some of them might be just off from each other, and they're probably, 10 feet southeast of you.
Okay, so there are, what, 2 or 3 of them within, let's say, 15 feet of each
Yeah.
other?
Yes.
Okay. Can I see Valeada and Zorag?
Yeah.
I will, as bonus action, I will call out to, we'll say Valeada. And I will say, alright lass, it's time to get your bahookie over here, and I will inspire you. And then, as I'm still headlocking the other guy, I'll pull out the deck of cards and I'll do a one-handed shuffle. And as I do, I cut it and I draw the top card, and it flicks up into the air, and it is a card that depicts a d6, a dice. And it will glow for a second, and then spark, and I will cast Shatter on the 2 or 3 that are in the cluster.
All right.
So that is 3d8 thunder damage. 15 damage to each of them.
Yeah, as this crack goes through,
It's con save. It's con save.
they will roll an 11, so they fail.
Fails.
And they take the 15, and all, 3 of those people collapse.
I will, with my one hand, grab the dude's face and make him look at it. How'd you like that? That's it. That's my turn.
It's now this person's turn, and he puts his hands up. Look, I'll tell you whatever you want. Just let me go.
I'm still holding him there, but I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, he keeps his hands up on his turn. Valeada.
Oh, is Ivrin holding the one guy that's still up, or
Yes.
holding one of the unconscious guys?
Yeah, he
Okay.
has one that's the only one that's still up.
Can I just run up and bonk him on the head for non-lethal?
Yeah. Go for it.
I will do that.
You'll have advantage because I feel like it doesn't matter.
26.
Yeah, you bonk him on the head, and he's like, "Ugh, what the hell?"
And second attack, baby. I'm making this guy unconscious.
Yeah, and then you smack him again after he reacts, and he just knights out. His head goes rolling back, resting on Ivrin's arm.
I love how your weapon's name is Huga.
Yeah, it's a combination of Hugh and Slaga.
Yeah.
Yuga.
With that, we're
Awooga.
out of combat. So that's the wrong music.
This guy's too tall to be the next
One
Rumshoe.
second. There we go. So you have disbanded 4 people whose disguises have now dropped, as they're now dead, and you have 1 unconscious in your arms. The one that is, or sorry, the group that is dead, as their forms reveal, the kind of like dust of magic comes off of them, and you can see their true identities are these people draped in these familiar to you guys black robes. That's capes are that's capes are kind of like dragon wing shaped, and yes, they have those masks.
Sons of bitches.
Oh, we found a couple.
When
Should we-
Zorag sees that, I want to look out ahead of the direction they were going and see if I see tracks of some kind. Like, I'll just go away from the group to see if maybe there's some traffic going into that direction. Or I know that we were following them, but I want to know if, like, there's other group that possibly went before them to check for tracks a little bit to see if there's, like, there's been some traffic in this area heading to the direction we were following them.
Yeah, roll me a survival. Oops, what am I doing?
Your turn.
Oh, God. It's a
Oh
6.
no, Zorag, what happened, dude?
I've been depressed in the north.
You're not able to ascertain anything besides that they were heading south-southeast.
I punch myself in the head repeatedly.
So, should we tie this one up before he wakes up?
Definitely. Aelin will be checking the corpses to see if they have anything of significance on them.
Okay, yeah, on them, since this is easy enough, they're dead, it doesn't really take a check. On them, you are able to deem that maybe they're just got their costume, their uniforms, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, are valuable. Not monetarily, but maybe they could help you be, blend in with their group. Then on one, as you search through, you find a diary or a notebook, I guess, more.
Yoink.
And, daggers, scimitars. And you know what? Let's roll for it. A total of 19 gold amongst all of them.
After we have him tied up, say, well, do we want his information now or when he wakes up on his own accord?
Of which,
The last time I tried to slap someone awake, they died, so,
I could wake him
probably a
up
good
if you
idea
want.
to wait till they
I
wake
can
up.
do it too for cheap.
I mean, who am I to say no to a lady?
Thanks. She will kneel down so that when he wakes up, she's looking right in there. He's looking right into her eyes, and give him 1 point of lay on hands.
what do you want?
I hear you are willing to talk for your life.
What do you want to know?
What are you doing here?
We're going to a party.
What kind of party? And don't be cute about it.
Persuasion or intimidation?
Intimidation.
Advantage, because you just killed everybody. 22.
22.
All right. Okay. Look. Promise you'll let me go.
What do we think? She looks at everybody else.
I'm really the biggest fan of him as I pull the bloody dagger out of my side. I'm up for negotiation.
Look, I
Right.
can get you in. You're not gonna be able to get in without me.
Aylin's just casually flipping through the new notebook that she has.
Talk. I'll decide if the information and what you can offer is worth your life.
I don't know who you are, but you're probably getting into something way over your heads here. It might be best that you turn around now while you can. I won't say anything. We're just...
Now, see, that's not the kind of information that keeps your life.
Okay. I don't know what is in it for you, but... There's a big get-together. Some up-and-comer in my organization who's...
What organization?
What?
What organization?
The Cult of the Dragon, if you must.
I must.
He's an up-and-comer and says he's discovered something big. And,
Assume you don't have that information yet, because that's what the party's for.
yeah. I'm a nobody. I'm not even invited to the inside event. Just the festival.
But you can get us into that festival.
Yes.
And how do you plan on doing that?
Kind of looks at all of you. Trying to debate whether he should be forthcoming or not. Take the robes. There's a passphrase. And they know my face. They see me, I give them the passphrase. We'll all get in.
At this point, Aylin is gonna go walk over and closely examine his face and drop her disguise.
I do want to do an inside check when I hear him say that. Like, they know my face, and I'll know a passcode that will get you in. I want to know if this dude's lying, essentially. Like,
Okay, yeah, roll me an
I'm gonna say a
insight.
different passphrase that'll get you fucked.
While this is happening, I would like to burn a second level, and I will cast Detect Thoughts.
Oh my god.
I told you this was gonna happen, Gris.
What happened to Zorag? He's been neutered.
Oh, poor Zorag.
All of his power was in the one eye that got cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it was
nerfed
all in
yourself.
that eye.
No, he's detoxing. He's detoxing, guys. It's okay. You'll be
Alright,
okay.
So, Ivern, you were gonna roll Detect Thoughts. Zorag, it's hard to read this
Believe
guy.
him.
He's either he's either so afraid that he's hard to read. I don't know, but you just can't tell.
Fair.
Is this your real face, or what face are you showing them?
This Aelin, you would. Oh, are you asking about what he would show the
Yeah.
cult?
Yeah.
My real face.
And she gestures to his face. This is it?
Yes.
She tilts her head, just still examining his face.
Ivern, are you rolling something? Doing something?
I don't have to. I'll put Detect Thoughts in the chat.
Okay, thank you. I'm not really too knowing of it. Here, when you cast a spell and
Actually, he can reach surface thoughts, and they have to make. Is it a wisdom save if he wants to go deeper?
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to go deeper? Because the surface thoughts are like, I don't want to die today.
Yeah,
These people
I'll go
are going
deeper.
to kill me and leave me for dead.
I will go deeper when we ask him about the passcode.
Okay. So
If his initial thought isn't like to lie and he's not telling us, then I'll go deeper.
his surface thoughts are like fear that he's about to die, fear that he can't trust you guys,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I will probe deeper.
Okay, so it's a wisdom save.
It is a wisdom save.
Coolly to moolies. Let me roll this mother. He rolled a 15.
Fails.
Okay, so, what are you prying for?
To see if I only get reasonings why, right? With the probe. I get reasoning into his emotional state, anything that looms large in the mind. So especially when we ask about the passcode, if I get blaring things about him wanting to lie to us about it, then I would like to know that, essentially. I probably won't get what the passcode is unless he's thinking about what the passcode is, but
So you ask him what the passcode is, and the thoughts you hear is, if I tell them I'm as good as dead. And he comes out and he essentially says, if I tell you the passcode now, then what stops you from killing me?
and you swear to me that you're not gonna lie about this and you're definitely gonna get us in.
Do you swear?
Because I will know.
Do you swear that you'll leave me be?
Sure.
You hear in his head, Owl, go there, get them in, and then alert everyone that they're there. That's the plan. That's a good plan. Okay.
All right, I'm convinced. He can stay. Do you have a name?
I'm
Well, this is the start of a beautiful relationship. I'd like
Lars.
you to know. Lars, what a great name.
Thank you.
Is everyone good with keeping this little fuck around?
Think so.
I don't know that we can trust him.
Sure we can, right, Lars? And I'll elbow him really hard.
Right.
See? So, on that note, he wants to go to Neverwinter, which I think is a good idea. Are we stopping at Phandalin at all? I know you all wanted to go back there.
Is your spell still up?
It lasts for a minute.
This idiot still thinks I'm going to Neverwinter. You hear in his mind.
I'll still play dumb.
Valeada looked at Zorag. Was that our actual plan, or was it just because we had to?
What?
Are we going to Phandalin?
I think Phandalin's a pretty good idea.
I mean, it's been a while, so Phandalin, as far as I know, is where we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Then I guess we can go our separate ways now. The party's not in Phandalin, so I'll be on my way.
Oh, but you
To
should stick
Neverwinter.
around.
I think you should stay. We're only going to be there for a little while. And we need you, right?
I'm going to miss the party.
We'll be there in a jiffy. Please, you can stay with us.
Just know it's today.
Oh, is it? That's contradictory to the first thing you told me.
That was my boss.
We're going to Phandalin. Come on.
All right. He's like, in his head, he's like, damn, I'm gonna miss the cool shit.
Alright, Aelin is gonna stop staring at his face, studying his features, and go over and start pulling off cloaks and everything else that the corpses have and kind of throw them in the bush so some wolves can eat them or something.
I'm not sure wolves will eat the cloaks, but okay.
No, throwing the corpses
Oh,
in
okay.
the bushes and keeping the cloaks.
I totally misunderstood that. Gotcha. That makes
Just
a
throw
lot
his
more
clothes in there
sense.
too, anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So, is your intention actually to go to Phandalin?
No, I want to.
Oh, okay.
When we get a moment, and if we load them onto the cart, I want to take the three
You
of
just
them
don't have
off
the
to the
cart
side.
anymore.
The cart. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Cart
right.
kept
When
going
we
to Neverwinter.
We can throw them over the back of the horse. Essentially.
we'll do that then. That's what we'll do. And then when we do that, I'll get everyone to come over, and I'll be like, so he doesn't want to go to Neverwinter. He doesn't want to go to Phandalin. Am I right in thinking that they're probably hosting their party in the mountains? Is that right, DM?
I would
Okay.
assume so. That's where the tracks are leading.
So I suggest we bag this fucker and pretend like we're going to Phandalin, and then we'll just pop him out in front of everyone.
Did
Oh, so
Aelin
we're-
glean anything from scanning that notebook? Like, she'll study it when nightfall comes, but...
So we're still going in the direction they were going. Just
Yeah, I was-
telling them we're going to Phandalin.
Yeah. So
I don't want him to know that we're going to the place that we're going.
Right. You will miss the party if you wait.
Yeah, I assumed we were just going.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna go. I just want to put a bag over his head.
Cool. You put a bag over his head. Aelin, you begin to sort of skim the book as you walk. Where were you like what direction were you heading then?
So the east was the way they were going, right?
It's all southeast. Are you guys trying to find a trail or anything? Like, you
Yeah.
know. Cool. Anybody who's actively looking, roll me survival for tracks.
Has it been 10 minutes since that combat started?
Well, I assume because you guys walked like back to the horse and then.
Well, I rode the
bagged in.
horse to attack the guy.
Okay. I'd say probably it's nearing, so you might have like another minute or something.
Okay, I'll use Bardic Inspiration. No, well, I mean, we rolled a 20 already, but
Yeah.
Thirty.
Okay.
Do it anyway.
I
Do
might
it
as
anyway.
well.
Shut up. Okay.
there's my. Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna make it even with the D8. So, whoop.
Cool.
There we go.
So, Aelin, you are able to find the tracks once more. There seems like there's been tons of tracks, like a whole bunch of different groups of people have been traveling this one direction, and the more you see it, the more obvious it becomes to you that this is a large gathering of people that are all going the same direction.
Seems this is a popular party, guys.
And you're able
Really
to...
good at parties.
What?
You can go ahead.
Oh, sorry,
Go
I
ahead,
didn't want to
Liz.
interrupt RP.
No, you're fine.
You're able to follow the tracks for a long time. While it becomes obvious, you point the tracks out to people. They're able to follow it as you skim the book because I won't allow you to do that. You read through the book a little bit, the notebook a little bit, and you do see like, remember. I wouldn't miss it for the world is in there. That seems to be important. And eventually you come to this area that starts to get loud. You're like walking through the woods. You're starting to increase in altitude a little bit, and you're almost at like the foothills, and there's this sort of area where these foothills meet and create this kind of like valley in between them. And you start to hear the commotion, like a loud commotion of like cheers and different, conversations and festivities. And as you peer through the woods, that direction, you're able to make out a watchtower up on the hill and a lot of people dressed in different costumes milling about in this valley. And that's where we're going to end the episode. So.
What?
Yeah. We went like 10 minutes over, so 15 maybe. Good spot to end it. Next session, we will continue there. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 1 of The Lost Song of Phandelver. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, leave a comment if you're on YouTube. Thanks again, players. Good to be back.
DM.
Thanks, Grizz. I hope your shoulder feels better.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, if anybody didn't notice, I was grabbing my shoulder a bit. I popped it out of its socket earlier today playing football, so it's been fun. Okay. See you guys next time. Peace.
See you around town, kids.